Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. A couple of college basketball games in action. Colorado taking it to TCU, 63-50 now. Below 5 minutes to play in that game. They're 10.5 live. And I have Southern Utah plus 5.5 before the game. They lead Utah Tech 16-15. More on that coming up in the next segment. We begin this hour talking some golf and the Players' Championship. TPC Sawgrass is the location. As Jeff Sealey joins the program now, he is on the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on X. He is at Cupmaker Jeff. His podcast is called the Cupmaker Podcast. And by the way, he did have Russell Henley last week at around 45-1. Congratulations on the board with him. That was a great call, Jeff.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk about him again this week.
Okay. Before we get there, Scotty has won this tournament 2 years in a row. He has to be power rated number one, like in everybody's rankings going into this tournament, per the model. Having said that, based on his play here, and with how good he is overall, would you consider this week to be the week to play the market winner without Scotty Scheffler?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because I think that the value that Scotty adds and the inflation that Scotty gives everybody else's price is invaluable. And I mean, he's playing fine right now, but this course has more variance than about any place. And so, I would much rather play the market with Scotty included than Scotty without, because the odds boost you get, for lack of a better term, is immense. Okay. So no, I'm a huge fan of having Scotty in the field at 3-1 because it inflates everybody else.
Okay, so I'm guessing then, based on what you just said, you're not going to touch Scotty at all this week.
I'm not touching Scotty. I'm not touching Morikawa. I mean, in both situations, they're in the late early tee time wave, which I'm not a big fan of this week. And in both situations, I think there's just better values on the board. So yeah, I mean, for all time, to be honest, they graded out number one and number two in my model in that order. So, but I'm not going there just because of the price and frankly some of the tee time waves.
Okay, get into that. And 17's an iconic hole. Tell us about the course and weather and what you have.
Sure. Yeah, guys. So, again, this is we'll have top 65 and ties advance through the cut this week. Water comes into play on 17 holes. We all know about the iconic par 3. Well, again, when the wind's up, kind of like last week, when the wind's up, it's really difficult. When it's not, it's not. But this, guys, is a course where, unlike the Arnold Palmer, the course form is not a huge factor here. You've seen guys struggle, miss a cut, and then win this in the past. There is a ton of variance here because of the weather, because of all the water. So I look at current form, where a lot of weeks I'll kind of balance out course form and current form and long-term form, and depending on the course. This is a week I'm relying much more on current form than I am on course form because there's so much variance here. Course form helps. It's nice, but I'm waiting at least this week than I would most weeks.
All right. Good breakdown, because Rory's been bad the last 4 years as well. That was a good breakdown. A couple props. Will there be an albatross 8-1 and a hole-in-one on 17 is plus 190?
Yeah, I'm in on the hole-in-one for sure. I'm definitely in on that. I'm out on the albatross, but I'm in on the hole-in-one this year.
Okay. First round, balls in the water, total on 17 for the tournament, 57.5.
Yeah, I'm on the under.
Really?
That's a big number.
Yep. It is a huge number.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. All right, take us out. Tell us where you're going to start in about the 20-1 range.
Sure, guys. So dating back to last year's Players, where he took 8th in his first trip here, Aubert has played in 18 events, has a win, 5 top 5s, and 5 top 20s. He really seems to be gaining confidence every week now. It feels like we still have the best yet to come from Aubert. I talk about him all the time. He's gained off the tee in every event but one. Think about that. Every event but one, he's gained off the tee in that 18-event stretch. His iron's been very good during that time. What's going to come down here is his short game and his putter. I think right now he's striking the ball best of anybody on tour, tee to green. And last year he actually gained 2.5 strokes around the green here, just lost with a putter. If he gains 12 strokes tee to green again like he did last year and just neutral with his putter, I think he wins.
Okay, very good. And you got him around, 18-1 outright?
18-1, yep.
Okay, you're also going to do some ladder bets with him as well. Okay, but I don't really think anybody, based on current form, winning last week, nobody's really playing better than Russell Henley. But I'm not a big fan of betting a guy back-to-back weeks. He's still pretty highly priced, though, in this tournament this week. Are you okay betting Henley again?
Yeah, I mean, Mitch, I bet him at 40 because, it's one thing when a guy just wins and it wasn't, you didn't see it coming, right? But, I've been on the Russell Henley train for weeks now. And, again, I've been betting him top 20, as I said on this show every week. My favorite bet, again, this week is Russell Henley top 20. Plus 160 I got him at earlier in the week. Again, you could argue he's the hottest player on tour in 2025. 3 top 10s and a win in his last 5 events. That's like Scotty Scheffler-esque. It honestly is. He's gained strokes putting in a wide variety of putting surfaces, POA, Bermuda, pick the surface, and he's gained with his irons in 4 out of 5 events. So the only concern with Henley's off the tee, but I think since this is a club down course where you're not going to be bombing it off the tee, I think that helps him find the fairways. Love Russell Henley again this week. I think I still think he's not priced low enough. I think he's probably in the top 5. He's number 5 in my model, so I think he should be within the top 5 lowest odds to win this event.
Okay, I had Straka last week. You're on the Straka train every week. He was right there in contention, 2 shots back with a chance to win. The putter let him down. What do you think of Straka's odds here?
It's interesting, Paul, when you talk about that because, ironically, he gained over 6 strokes putting last week. So his putting let him down at the end, but if he gains 6 strokes putting again, he's going to win. He's 21st in fairways gained, 40 in proximity from 200 yards, 31st from 125, and 11th from 150. So when you model out just hitting a fairway and hitting your irons, he's in the top 5. Again, another guy who's been super hot. A win, 2 more top 10s in his last 6 events to go with 2 more top 20s. Super hot player. Again, if he gains 6 strokes putting again, Paul, I know he was bad the last couple of holes, but he was on a heater all week with that thing. If that gets hot again, he can absolutely win this.
Well, how about how the odds for Berger have plummeted? And you, less than a month ago, you had a 20-1 ticket you cashed for Berger to finish top 5. He's playing well, and he's come down now.
Guys, if you can parlay, take $100. $100 on Berger top 10, Aubert top 10, and Duke to win the national championship pays 65-1. Or make it $50 or whatever you want. But that you talk about a good pizza money bet. I think that's a great one. Berger's 4th in fairways gained, 6th in proximity from 200 yards. Great iron play. 60-1 feels like an amazing value for a guy who's 6th in my model. Dating back to Thanksgiving, he's played in 8 events and have finished inside the top 25 in 6 of them, including 2 runners-up at the RSM and the Waste Management just a few weeks ago. In that stretch, he's gained off the tee in every single one and only lost 1 stroke on approach once. So his approach game is good. His off-the-tee game is really good. Finished 13th here in 2022, 9th in 21, 9th in 16. Again, I don't weight course form a ton, but he's had success here, so that certainly doesn't hurt. 60-1 feels like a phenomenal price still on Daniel Berger, another guy I'm going to look to ladder this week.
All right, follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Jeff Sealey, talking about the Players' Championship. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. Tell us why you like Michael Kim this week, and I will follow that up with, I think, a bet that you're absolutely going to love.
So, Mitch, when I look at these stats every week, right? And it's very, very rare. I can't even recall the last time I didn't look at a guy like a Scotty Scheffler, Justin Thomas, just some elite, super elite player, where I look at a 5-event stretch where they did not lose strokes in a single statistical category. So Michael Kim, over his last 5 events, has gained 1.5 strokes off the tee, 3 strokes on approach, 2.5 strokes around the greens, and over a 1-stroke putting, but has been plus. So has gained in every single category, every single event, the last 5 events. That is very, very, very uncommon. And now we're getting this guy at 65-1. You talk about the ladder play. This is the ultimate ladder play. You should bet him top 20. You should bet him top 10. You should bet him top 5. I'd be shocked if he laid an egg because he's so well-rounded. His form is so good right now across the board. The guy's playing amazing, almost flawless golf. I mean, it's insane how consistent he is across the board.
Okay, so here's the bet. Michael Kim, top 40, even money.
Oh, back up the truck. Back up the truck.
Yeah.
I love that. Is that on DraftKings? Where is that?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you off the air.
Okay. That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Last minute here. Who's your bomb of the week?
Guys, I like Nick Taylor a lot. His price, he opened at 150, 160. Now he's down to 110. Again, another great player. Reminds me of 2025 Webb Simpson. Honorable mention, because I play him at bombs every week. Also going to throw Jake Knapp in there, who got in the field late.
Okay.
Good job,
Very
buddy.
good. That was awesome. Great job on Henley last week. Let's keep it going this week, okay?
Thanks, fellas. Take care.
All right.
Yeah, be good. There you go. Jeff Sealey, Cupmaker Podcast. Cupmaker Jeff on X. Join us, Progressive Guest Line.
Every year, an estimated 100,000 golf balls are retrieved from the water surrounding the famous 17th Island Hole.
100,000.
Yeah. Yep. I want to go back year to year because with that prop, 57.5.
I think I can
that
find
goes
that.
over. Yeah. That's good. Jeff Sherman at the Westgate also has lowest score in the first round, 65.5. And then you can bet hole in one for the tournament and a hole in one on 17.
Okay.
I love that win without Scotty market. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Jack went 3 in a row. He's the only guy to do it.
Okay. I have it right in front of me right now.
All right.
You want it every single year?
I do.
Year by year. Balls in the water on 17. This is going to blow your mind. I'll share it coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We will get to the balls in the water at 17 year by year. TPC Sawgrass coming up in a second. And I will tell you where that top 40 bet is available for Michael Kim that I told Jeff Sealey about. A couple games in college basketball right now. I have about 30 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, check that, 20 seconds now. Colorado leads TCU 67-63.
Yep. They were just up 14. TCU has stormed back. This line stunk. Colorado 3-17 in league play. TCU opened a 1.5-point favorite. They were getting pounded, but TCU ball down 4, 20 seconds left.
Made a deep run. Cal took money today in the ACC. They trail Va-Tech 30-29. Less than 2 minutes to go in the first half. And boy, oh boy, how things have changed here in the WAC. I'm on Southern Utah. They led the entire first 10 minutes of the game. I look away for 5 minutes, look back. Utah Tech hits them with a gigantic run. Tech now leads by 9. And we're talking about 4.5 minutes to play in the first half. I mean, that number was weird. I bet it because it's like, that doesn't make sense. And the more I looked at it, I'm like, wait, this is fishy. And it kept going up. I'm like, huh?
What would you do? What would you do, tough guy? You're Nick Bogdanovich, right? And everything that's transpired the last 6 months with this sport, actually year, right? And someone comes to the window and says, give me the Utah Tech Trailblazers for $20,000. You think something's shenanigans? You think he's got inside information?
Of course. Why did that happen?
No, I'm just
Did they take 20 dimes on it today?
No, I'm just saying, what would you do?
They haven't won since January 11th.
I know. It doesn't make any sense. They should be underdogs in this game.
And Southern Utah swept them.
Yes.
It opened up 2.5 at one of the biggest offshore books in the world. Bet to 6.5. They now lead by 9. I'm glad I didn't add more. That was a bizarre number, man. You make it make sense. All right, BetMGM is where you can find Michael Kim top 40 even money. You heard Andy Jeff's reaction. If you're just tuning in right now, he said, oh my God, back up the Brinks truck. He loved it. He made a case for Kim to win it outright. So here, what's the prop, by the way, that you saw at Westgate for balls in the water?
57.5.
ESPN bet is 52.5. So shop around. You might find something different everywhere. Last year, 58.
Ooh.
The year before that, 64.
Not a high number.
I'm sorry. This is in 2023 going backwards. So 2023, there were 58. I got to get last year. Yeah. Luke, can you find last year, if you don't mind, 2024 balls in the water at 17? So starting in 2023, it's 58. The year before that, 64. Then 50. No tournament in 2020, pandemic. 2019, there were 45. 2018, there were 53.
I'll never forget that. They couldn't play golf outside during what?
Do you know today is the 5-year anniversary
Oh, that's right.
of sports?
That was it, right?
Yeah.
Big East tournament. Still the last to play.
My
They
dad.
went
I'll share a story about
The
my
band's
dad
playing, there's
later
two
on
peop-
this month.
Okay.
He was out here. That was a month and a half before he passed away. He said, just please don't shut down March Madness. Please don't shut it down. We were doing mornings that day. We get home from the South Point. That game's at halftime. They shut it down. He's like, you're going to cancel March Madness? Are you really? His favorite event in the world, love sports.
Yeah.
And he would have, never lived to see another March Madness.
Yeah.
36 last year? Okay, so
That was a good story. You should really watch Field of Dreams. Colorado made their free throw. So so it wasn't a lot last year. Interesting.
Yeah.
How far back you got?
I got it back more than a decade.
Hit me.
But it's all over the map, though. So 45 in 2019, 53 in 2018, 69 in 2017, 36 the year before that, 45, 28th in 2014. So, I mean, you're talking about mid to high 20s all the way, the high water mark. Oh, my God, there's no way. 2007 had 93 balls in the water. Was it a hurricane?
Yeah, C was angry. Oh, wow. Was it a hurricane? Must have
Crazy,
been
but-
windy. Yeah, windy.
But in the high to upper 60s plenty of times.
It's a great prop.
But then like low 30s or below a lot of other times.
Well, who's going to get a hole in one? What's the no? 240, 220?
Yeah.
And then a hole in one for the tournament no is plus 130. Yeah, God. I should bet that.
50 in round 1 in 2007.
Oh, my God.
In round 1 alone.
Probably a hurricane. Yeah. That's nuts.
Wow.
That is wild.
What
That's
did the
a great
field look
prop.
like in 2007, I wonder?
That's a great prop.
Tiger and a bunch of guys with beer bellies smoking cigars?
Sure. The Walrus. Chi Rodriguez.
Right?
These
Out there
type of
dancing with the
guys.
putter.
Yep. Hey, that's funny. You can middle the balls in the water.
You
prop.
can. In fact, you might be able to, I'm sure most books are going to have that in the 50s or somewhere, right?
Yeah. I don't see it. DK's got a great menu. I didn't see it up there. But they got a big variety of stuff, too. How about a quick tangent, quick rant? If you're down 4 or more with 10 seconds, there's no reason to just lay it in. I don't understand these guys who just... TCU's down 4. The guy lays it in with 1 second. What are you doing? I've seen too much of this the last week. It doesn't make any sense. And even going back to... what was that game? The championship game? I don't know. Team was down 3. Dribble, dump it down low. The guy lays it in at the buzzer to cut it to 1.
Hold on.
TCU was down 4. The guy just lays it with 1 second, then Colorado runs the clock out.
So can you explain this to me, though? Did Colorado not just try to score a basket with 1 second left, full court?
I think he passed on the dunk to run the clock out.
Okay.
It was 1 second.
They had a great look
left.
there, actually, if they wanted to. But, I mean...
He said, why bother? I don't want to get fouled.
Yeah, good. You don't want to break a
Just
leg on
run
the way
clock
down.
out. Yeah, it's over. So Colorado, 3-17 in league play. They move on. I believe they play West Virginia. But you see too much of this. You're doing. That's what I want you to do. By all means, take the layup and chew clock.
Well, I'm telling you, some of these numbers now, TCU was 9-11 in conference play.
Right.
And
1.5.
1.5. Here's another game again going on. Southern Utah, they trail by 9 right now. Utah Tech, if you haven't heard the show at all today, now they're up by 11, 38-27. They just scored again. They have 6 wins on the year. They're on a 14-game losing streak. Southern Utah swept them. They don't have a win since January 11th. And yet, here I am holding 5.5, and I look like a complete idiot. Because the entire rest of the world bet them up to 6.5-point favorites today after it opened 2.5 at one of the biggest offshore books in the world. What? Cal got bet to 4.5 today. They trailed by 3 at halftime against Va Tech. Cal still favored by 1.5 in-game.
Yeah, that was a strange line, too.
I'll show one more to you as well. This game tips off at 7 o'clock Eastern. This is in the Big 12. Now, I know Arizona State, they're without like a stud freshman, best defensive player.
I saw the same thing. They just played. Arizona State beat them, killed them.
So K-State got bumped up to 6.5 earlier today as well. Every single site that I look at, Ken Pom, Bart Torvik, doesn't matter. They all have this game much closer than a 6.5-point spread. And yet the betting market just says, no, that injury evidently is way too significant. Ken Pom has it a 1-point game. So does Bart Torvik. Eric Haslam has it a 1-point game. And Tyler Shoemaker here. You can read all of his stuff at vsin.com every day. Again, it's all free until Selection Sunday. Everything is. You can see all of his projections. He has a 0.5 point on this game and 145.5. And yet K-State today, nope, doesn't matter, bumped up to 6.5-point favorites. Part of me wants to take ASU, but I'm like, okay.
Syracuse, Florida State's funky. Florida State, 3.5. Played earlier in the year. Beat Syracuse by 16.
Yeah.
It's another one. This is tricky. And a lot of times you see, hey, we swept them, but couldn't beat them the third time, right? That's probably the angle. Yeah, you got that angle tonight with St. Mary's and Gonzaga, but it hasn't worked out so far.
Well, what do you make of again, here's a bet that I have today. In the CAA title game, I bet Wilmington and Delaware over 148.
Yes.
All the projection sites have it 150.5, like 155 in that neighborhood.
That's been a different Delaware team.
I mean, their scores in this tournament so far.
Yeah.
Last night they combined for 154. The game before that it was played in the 170s. The first game of the tournament, it was played in the 150s. So does this seem like a team? I mean, this would be a magical story for that coach and those kids.
No, it wouldn't.
No, for them as human beings it would be. Maybe not for you. I'm talking about for them individually. If they're down by, we saw this last week. Yeah. A team was fouling with a minute to play. They had 3 fouls to give, down by 16. If this team is down by a dozen,
absolutely,
and the total it needs 4 points to go over with a minute to play, Delaware is a perfect example of a team that might keep fouling.
Bradley was fouling down 16 with 90 seconds left, too.
Yeah.
In the title game. You're exactly right. 5-13, 12 seed, 40 minutes away from dancing. Oh, boy. But this is where you would think fatigue comes into play, though. 5 games in 5 nights. Can Wilmington run them out in the second half?
I'm hoping tired legs.
With up-tempo. That should happen,
yeah.
Yes. Good talk today with Mr. Cohen. Let me get you a table. And after that, went right to the website. It's incredible. Every tournament preview is up there, and when you click on the tournament preview, you see the write-up, the predictions, the odds, the bracket, and the Mackin and trends. Bang! For every single conference. Get it now. Everything's free, and the betting splits as well. vsin.com/championship week. Everything free. vsin.com/championship week.
We have numbers for the Wednesday games. We'll share them next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, numbers already up tomorrow and Thursday as well with some huge games and bubble implications. Joe Lenardi has updated bracketology, ESPN. Last 4 byes, Utah State. Huge one out here, likely to play UNLV on their home floor in the late game Thursday in the 3-6. Utah State, Arkansas, Baylor, San Diego State. They play Boise Thursday. What a huge game that is. Last 4 in, Oklahoma, Indiana, Xavier, and Ohio State. First 4 out, Boise, North Carolina, Texas, and Colorado State. The Mountain West is going to be huge. But who gets in, who gets out?
Oh, by the way, people have been betting Colorado State since the numbers opened up.
Yeah.
I think the best number I saw immediately to win the Mountain West on that team was plus 550. I don't think you can find higher than like plus 350 anymore. So I missed the boat on that one. That's the team I wanted to bet, but I can't do it at this point.
All right, they are hot. Tomorrow, Davidson 6.5 against Richmond with the 8-10.
What'd you make of that story with Steph Curry, by the way?
Kind of like the Woj thing?
Steph Curry's going to be like the assistant
GM.
Yeah, assistant GM.
Yeah. Definitely help with recruiting.
Well, he's going to help create like a $10 million fund.
Yeah, right.
So.
Uh-huh. Excellent. I thought that was cool.
You give me some of the numbers here. I'll give you projections on some of the games that I have.
Numbers already up. 9:30 tomorrow. Cincinnati won earlier today. They play Iowa State. Iowa State 8.5. Winner gets BYU.
What do you have for total on that game? Anything?
135.
135. I was going to say that today's game was very high scoring with Cincinnati. I would look maybe the other way in that game. But Iowa State's offense is much better this year than years past.
All right. It gets fun in the SEC. Arkansas, 10 a.m., 2.5, 139 against South Carolina.
Yeah.
Just got bludgeoned in the last meeting.
So everybody has this a 4-point game. The Ken Poms of the world. Bart Torvik's. I would say this. I think Arkansas can play with any team in the SEC. That doesn't mean they're going to win the whole tournament. They're 250 to 1, by the way, at some spots to win the tournament. But that's going to take 5 games in 5 days to do so. I think they can maybe win a couple here against some of the big boys. The problem is South Carolina might be the worst matchup for them in the entire league.
Yeah. Winner gets Ole Miss.
They have a tough draw here.
Yep. Following that is Texas and Vandy in the 13-12. Winner gets A&M. Vandy 1.5. Texas loses, they're finished.
I like the over 148.5. I think we're going to get a higher scoring game here between these two teams. Two efficient offenses, and they can get up and down the court. That'd be my look in that game.
And Georgia's 2.5 against Oklahoma in the 14-11. Winner gets Kentucky.
Can you bet either one of these teams in this game?
I would take Oklahoma with the season on the line. Don't know. Tough game.
I think you can make the case for both teams.
Yeah, okay.
And also, you want to talk about a game that could have some points because Oklahoma's not going to foul late in the game. Of course they would. And I think maybe Georgia would be telling themselves the same thing.
Yeah.
Because how would a first-round loss look in the SEC tournament for Georgia? Are they safely in?
I think so, yeah.
They're a lock to get in?
They're not on the buys, so... Well, plus these other teams are going to lose. They play each other.
Yeah.
God, how big is the San Diego State-Boise game?
It's massive.
I love that. And Aztecs catching 1.5. I'll get to Thursday in a second. Butler 1.5 against Providence. The Big East. North Carolina 7.5 against Notre Dame. These teams, these so-called good ACC teams, the 4 of them, have been blowing everyone out. The Clemsons, the Louisvilles, the North Carolinas, the Dukes, blowout city.
So if you eliminate what took place with the North Carolina Duke game on Saturday, you're exactly right. You go back, over a month? The Tar Heels were whooping everybody, smoking them, running them out of the gym.
They're 1-11 now against quad ones, though. So
but here's the thing.
These next 2 games won't do anything for them. They got to beat Duke, sorry.
Notre Dame's awful.
Yep. I want North Carolina.
So do I.
Yep. The style points as well. Got to have the style points.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, the number's up now. West Virginia 6.5 against Colorado. I don't get it with West Virginia. I think they should be a bubble team. But
same here. Could this be an example of one of these teams just catching fire? And we've seen this,
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Again, look at Delaware. It happens every single year.
Yep.
In a lot of these conferences. And by catch fire, I mean, could Colorado just be give West Virginia an absolute, 3-hour, 2-hour, fight to the death tomorrow in that game?
Yeah, you're 3-17 in league for a reason.
I know.
It's hard to back them. Yep. Ohio State 5.5 against Iowa.
So I wanted
Iowa just had the big one, knock Nebraska out.
That's right. I think 155, and it's an Iowa game that we're talking about.
Yep.
My first look was going to be to the over in this game, but it's 155.5. So I don't think I can go there with that number.
So they're the last team in, according to Lenardi. Then it's Xavier. Xavier plays Marquette Thursday in the quarters of the Big East. Marquette's lane 3. I can't get there with Xavier. I don't care who's been hurt. You're 1-9 against quad ones. I can't do it. Plus, they'll be bid thieves, too. Maybe more than one. There were 5, I think 5 last year, 5 or 6. I don't. It's hard. Marquette's been up and down though.
I can't trust them.
No, okay.
I say
that's
that
a hell
every
of
time
a
that they're
game,
playing.
Right? That's a hell of a game. The other team goes Ohio State, Xavier, then Indiana. Oregon's 2.5 against Indiana,
And they just played.
And that was the crazy beat.
Sure.
They were catching 6.5 or 7. They had the lead with 2 minutes left.
Oh boy.
Couldn't cover in regulation.
So what is home court worth compared to the neutral field here, neutral court? But there's going to be more Indiana fans there, one would think, than Ducks fans, obviously, making the trip.
Yeah.
Is it because they were, favored by 6.5 in that game? That was a horrible beat on Indiana?
Yeah. It's tough.
So a 4-point difference there, travel and home court?
I back the team that needs it.
I think this is going to be a really exciting game tomorrow. USC takes on Rutgers in the Big Ten. SC opened 1-1.5. Total is 154.5. Those were the openers. Ken Pom makes the total 158. Bart Torvik has it 159. Eric Haslam has it 157. All three of those sites. For what it's worth, again, I'm not telling you to bet these games based on what projections are telling you, but though their totals are much higher on this game, much higher, this time of year, 3.5, 4, 5 points, that is much higher than what the betting market opened up at anyway. I got to tell you, tomorrow's games are awesome to me. Sure. I can't wait to watch the South Carolina-Arkansas game. What is that going to look like for the Razorbacks? I think Texas-Vandy is an awesome first-round matchup. I think the same thing has to be said about Oklahoma-Georgia. And those two games in the Big Ten, Iowa, that's what they do. They play these super high-scoring games. They've been doing this for years. And the USC current form, they're one of the best teams. I just think that tomorrow's action is going to be wildly entertaining. And I can't wait for the games to get here.
Texas has lost 7 of 9. The wins were Kentucky and Miss State.
And where's Vandy on the seed line?
Put in. I'll bring it up right now. He updated it today. I would still say safely in. 1 second.
I'll get it. I look at the bracket matrix has him on the 10 line.
Yeah.
Overall, a 10 seed. So, yeah, West Virginia 9.
Oh, Lenardi's got him at 11.
Has he really?
This is risky business here.
Okay.
Like, how far are these teams going to drop? If Arkansas, that's a bad loss if Arkansas loses, even though they're only laying 2.5.
I think it is as well.
Baylor's in trouble. San Diego State plays Boise. San Diego State, are they out then? You put Boise in? Utah State loses? Do they go from the top team? They have a hell of a resume.
Mm-hmm.
But they're struggling down the stretch. And then Xavier's a dog. Indiana's a dog. Oklahoma's a dog. Buckeyes laying 5.5. That's the last 4 in. Does 2 wins, is that good enough for Carolina, even though it won't be quality?
Based on their overall metrics and people making a case for them, it might be.
What if it's Boise, Colorado State in the Mountain West title game?
Well, then
they get both in? You think they're both in? Oh. And they're taking 4? No, San Diego State's out then.
I think they're probably out at that point, yeah.
Right. Huge game. What a tournament that's
What happens if Utah State loses their first game?
That's why, I was getting there. I don't know how far. They have a strong resume, but you're the top buy. Would you fall all the way down? You can't fall all the way down out. That 1, 2, 3, that's 7 spots you drop.
I wouldn't think so.
Plus, it's on their home floor.
Paul, based on previous years, they do put a lot of stock in what happens in these tournament games. So if you lose in round 1 and it happens to be pretty ugly,
he's got him a 10 seed.
They'll probably file that away and say, "Ooh, boy, bad luck going into the tournament." Here.
Better shape than Vandy, I guess. He's got him a 10 seed playing Ole Miss.
I think if North Carolina blows out Notre Dame, people are going to say that's enough, and I don't agree with that.
If it's 2, it'll really ramp up. They 2 blowouts, and then you play Duke. Eliminate all the fake handicappers who are pitching fake records. Juice Reel bringing transparency to the picks marketplace. All betting accounts are synced with the betting history directly from the books. No hiding those bad records. Juice Reel ranks every bettor based on their actual betting record. Sharp bettors even get paid when you follow their picks. Promo code Let's Go. Download the app now. Get 25 in free app currency. Check it out. Juice Reel. Download the app today. REEL, Juice Reel.
Up next, the betting odds should be much closer to a pick'em than where they're currently sitting.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
In a back-to-back last night, Denver got revenge against Oklahoma City. They won. They scored a zillion points. Joker was phenomenal. Imagine that. And I still don't get the current betting market with the MVP in the NBA. SGA is around 5-1 in that neighborhood. And you can find Joker at 3-1 or higher. So a couple of tweets here. This is from Katie Wingy. Player on the court team net rating. When Joker is on the court, Denver is plus 11. When SGA is on the court, OKC is plus 17.5. Player off the court net rating. When Joker's off the court for Denver, It's negative 9.7, 29th in the NBA. There are 30 teams. SGA plus 2.8. Oklahoma City, 9th in the NBA when he's off the floor. Net rating swing, Joker 20.7, SGA 14.7. So Dan Hyatt does great stats for the NBA and I think the Nuggets overall. With that Joker off the court rating of negative 9.7. That means Denver, without him, is the second worst team in the NBA. They're only ahead of the Wizards. Numbers don't lie, folks. SGA off the court plus 2.8. It means OKC without SGA is still a top 10 team in the NBA. Better net rating than the Lakers. It's most valuable player award. I love SGA. I expressed that on the air yesterday for 5 minutes. I think Joker has to win the MVP again this year.
Yep. Michael Malone after the game. If you put player A and player B on paper, not knowing that the player who's averaging a triple-double has already won 3 MVPs, he wins 10 times out of 10. And if you don't think so, you guys are full of bleep. He was then asked a follow-up if win-loss record should be included on that piece of paper. And he also said, well, how about the year that he didn't win it? We were the 1 seed.
Yeah.
He's got all. He goes, I don't negative recruit. I don't do that. I love SGA, but Joker's got to be the MVP. And I agree with him.
I can't wait for the next MVP straw poll to come out. Because if it's still like a landslide, that's probably a strong word to use. But if it's like 70-30 SGA, that just tells you that these voters made up their mind already. And it's like voter fatigue, and they're going to give it to SGA because he hasn't won and Joker already has 3 of them.
Yep, right.
And that's not right.
Yep.
It isn't. So that's that. Tomorrow night, OKC, now they have to pick themselves up. They play Boston on the road. Jalen Williams is out for the Thunder. Porzingis is questionable for the Celtics.
Yeah, viral infection. He's been dealing with that illness. So we'll see if he goes. 233.5 the total. Again, it happened last night. OKC is 21st in defense since the break. They're number 1 in offense, though. It's been weird. You're right. What's going on defensively? And Denver took them apart in the fourth quarter. Denver's only 3 at home to Minnesota, by the way.
Denver averaged last night more than 1.4 points per possession.
Yep.
That's unheard of.
So if all these guys play for the Celtics, take the Celtics. And you're right about we didn't care. It was Utah. Guys sat. We were ready to go for the Lakers. We delivered. Got hairy there in the fourth quarter, but that's what they do. Lakers also had a bad third quarter. And they have this game circled because what else are they playing for? They know they're going to be the 2 seed. They can't catch Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So I think it's definitely the Celtics there tomorrow night.
Also, I'd probably consider the over, the way that these 2 teams are trending.
And you're right. The Cavs are 5-1 at Caesars and DK to win 70 games. I think they're favored in every game the rest of the way. They're 16.5 tonight. Mitchell's a game-time decision against the Nets. And at Caesars, OKC's 100-1. At DK, they're 40-1 to win 70. But the Cavs now, what do we have, 15 wins in a row?
Well, they're 54-10.
Look at the schedule.
They have, 18 games left? They have to go 16-2.
If they want to do it, they can do it. I just don't know about who he's going to sit in. But still, you got to put it's like Hoosiers. My team's on the floor. I mean, you got to play somebody. So and they're deep. So they're also playing bad teams down the stretch.
At Memphis, won't be easy on Friday. There's also coming up then next weekend. They make a West Coast road trip. It starts off with a back-to-back Tuesday in L.A., Wednesday in Sacramento.
It's the Clippers, though, right?
It is the Clippers, yeah.
Yeah, 5-1, not good enough. But
yeah,
I think they should win both games.
Let's see. Most difficult games beyond that, they play at Detroit. It's a back-to-back as well. They play at home to San Antonio the night before. Then they play at the Pistons. Pistons are feisty. At Indiana, at New York, that's a back-to-back. The Knicks probably want to make a statement, I guess, because both the Cavaliers and the Celtics are a horrible matchup for New York. But again, a back-to-back. Well, yeah, you could break it down. The Cavaliers are pretty much the best team in any situation other than a back-to-back because Denver's 12-1 on the year.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter. Road favorites, overall, ATS to the over, they've been amazing in every possible way.
They're up to 16, and the Celtics just went to 5 tomorrow.
Okay.
So this is fun every night about, we got a good tweet, too, about going back 4, 5, 6 years, when do you think you'd ever see the Pistons a 15-point favorite? What a story. so bad last year, the losing streak. Pistons are 15 points tonight at home at Washington. So every night it's get to the same game parlay or who's going to go off, ladder bets, whatever. Luka with the triple-double last night wasn't surprising. Harrison had not Harrison. With the kid from the Mavs. Why am I blanking? Harrison, right?
Najee Marshall.
Marshall, sorry.
Yeah.
He went off. Of course, Dinwiddie does something. But again, they put out Spurs 6 again. They can't guard you. How do you give up 133 points to a team who's playing 7 guys? And they give up 141 to Minnesota. So they put up 6, and now the total was just moved 12 points. 10 points is like 237 now again tomorrow.
Oh, is that enough?
But it's no. But it's fine the guy who can go off. And I'll tell you, Harden's playing well the last couple of games, and it looks like old Harden. Had the 50-piece, hitting a lot of threes. You've been on this. New Orleans doesn't play any defense.
Yeah.
Can't defend the 3. No effort. I think it's a big game for Harden. With Powell hurt, I don't think Kawhi gets a lot of shots. They're up to 7.5 on the road tonight. Harden's 3.5 for the threes, and the points are 25.5. Yeah. I think this could be a big Harden game here for the Clippers.
Well, not only are the Pelicans awful defensively in general, but they're terrible guarding three-point shooters as well.
Yep.
So maybe fine. We saw it last night, right? We said on the air the Jazz are terrible in this category. They can't slow down they're horrible everywhere. But specifically against three-point shooters, and we're like, are books going to post a number for Payne Pritchard? They finally did. I bet him over 3.5. It was a loser. I didn't see anywhere was Sam Hauser listed. He had 9 threes last night. But I think in spots like that, if you just you would ladder some of these guys who are going to have huge numbers and payoffs, bet them all, right? If you can find a Hauser type in a spot like that, I couldn't find him. For tonight, Washington's god-awful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it reeks of Malik Beasley having 7 threes tonight. He had 6 the first time they played, but his numbers are juiced to the gills anyway.
Yeah.
But there are guys that you want to look at maybe down the line as well against these bad defense and just say, I'll come in to bet like 3 or 4 of them.
Right. I'm going to take Harden over points. What do you like? Anything on the card?
I'm fine with that because he's playing, like you said, much better, and New Orleans is just terrible.
Yeah. And they got the back-to-back tomorrow, too. So I'm going to go with that. Best Bets brought to you by G-Bank, official bank of VSiN. Got the lucky winner last night with Pepperdine, Harden over points. G-Bank up in the ante with up to $750 bonus for the new G-Bank Visa Signature Card customers and new customers who spend $1,000 on eligible purchases within 90 days from account opening. Get a $250 bonus. In addition, if you spend $50,000 on gaming and sports app loads within the 30 days of account opening, you get another $500 bonus. $750 bonus. Apply now. VSiN.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. VSiN.com/GBank.
I'll tell you, tomorrow night as well, Minnesota-Denver, sneaky good game. I'm looking at Denver 3, total 235.5.
That was a hell of a job by the Knicks last night, too. Hit 23s.
They killed the Kings.
Yep. And they're in Portland.
What? I think I like the Wolves tomorrow night.
Really? It's only 3?
A but it's baked in. Right? It's definitely baked in because the Nuggets probably should be higher than that, but they're just coming off of a back-to-back against OKC, and I think that team put everything into that game last night. And they certainly played like it with that performance. And by the way, Minnesota's playing better basketball.
Yeah. They
have not lost this month, actually. And they got guys back from injury here recently. I'm looking at who they've... okay, well, I don't want to go too nuts. They killed the Suns on the road. They beat Philly. They won in Charlotte. They won at Miami. They beat San Antonio. Yeah, okay. All right, I don't want to get too crazy with Minnesota.
It's a good spot for the Lakers Thursday on national TV. They're in Milwaukee. Milwaukee plays Indiana. Did you see the J.J. Redick tirade after the game?
Yeah.
It was excellent. He lit them up, as he should have. Up 15 against the Nets, you lose the game, and then it's just, I like Reeves owning it, too. I was absolutely putrid, he said.
Well,
so, I look up the guy's 0 of 9. I mean, come on.
It's like this week is big for the Bucks, specifically against the Pacers. I don't think they want to lose the 4 seed.
Right. Yep.
So
you see Freaks 32.5 points tonight.
He kills his team.
Yeah, that's true.
Destroys
I know. A lot of people making the case that that's a good bet. Go 3 points over. Yep.
Yeah. Wes Reynolds on the program coming up next. Volume better this week is right up his alley. He has a ton of bets that he likes, tournament outrights in college basketball. Find out who he does like coming up next.